Hello, I'm Tom Roberts, author of the Mindfulness Workbook, A Beginner's Guide to Overcoming Fear and Embracing Compassion. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of dealing with and recognizing mindlessness. The title of this video, Mindlessness First, Building a Snowman in Costa Rica, talks about the importance of recognizing how we maintain a sense of mindlessness in our life. In my mindfulness workbook, I talk a great deal about recognizing how we have our own unique way of keeping ourselves trapped in a mindless way of living. When I talk about a mindless way of living, what I'm referring to is living in a way that's based out of reaction, largely based out of fear, and largely based on a sense of feeling disconnected not only from ourselves, but from the events, people, and situations in our lives. In my own journey in mindfulness meditation, as well as many of the things I've heard from the students I teach in my classes, to the retreats that I've run, to the workshops that I've conducted, a couple of things have seemed to surface routinely. In my own practice, I've had to confront the idea that trying to deal with my distracted and frustrated and busy thinking mind was always a source of frustration. It never seemed to go away. And some of my expectation about entering meditation was that it would quiet that kind of mind down. Well, it seemed as though the more I practiced, the more frustrated I got because of that. And I hear that a lot from the students and the participants in retreats that I run, that people also are saying, why isn't my mind quieting down? Well, the first thing that we come up against is our expectation that mindfulness is going to result in a more quiet mind. That isn't always the case. In the Mindfulness Workbook, I use the metaphor that's part of the title of this video, Building a Snowman in Costa Rica. You see, oftentimes we try to learn mindfulness techniques as a way of imposing that on our mindless, busy, distractive, worried, thinking mind, as if by doing so it's going to quiet that mind. Well, quite honestly, the opposite happens. The more you try to quiet what I call big deal mind, or what is frequently referred to as monkey mind, the more you try to quiet it, the more it will resist you. And in my mindfulness workbook, I talk about what it would be like to try to build a snowman in Costa Rica. Now, you might be able to get the snow there with refrigerated containers and the like, but once you open up those containers and take the snow out, and you begin to start building a snowman, there will be forces at work that will undermine your progress. And it will be very difficult, if not downright impossible, to build a snowman in Costa Rica. And practicing mindfulness oftentimes is approached in a similar sort of way. If I can just get all of these mindfulness techniques down, if I can do it right, if I could just practice hard enough, this busy, distractive, big deal mind will eventually quiet down. The reason why that doesn't work so well is because it sets up a conflict within us. A conflict between a mindless mind, or a distracted mind, or busy mind, or what I call big deal mind, and on the other hand, a mindful mind, which has all sorts of expectations about what that is. Calm and serene and peaceful and full of love and joy. So when you try to impose that on top of a mindless mind, or our big deal mind, what happens is it sets up an internal conflict. And our mindless mind will, for all of us, end up resisting. That's the nature of big deal mind. So mindfulness really requires that we get a better understanding about how our mindless mind works. It's not a matter of trying to quiet it down. It's not a matter of trying to get it to go away. It's a matter of being able to sit back and watch how each of our mindless minds operates. And it's unique for all of us. Mine is going to be different than yours. Yours is going to be different than somebody else that might be practicing mindful meditation. So one of the things that we need to understand is when we're dealing with mindfulness, we're learning how to just be in the presence of and watch how our big deal mind or mindless mind operates. So we can practice just sitting in the presence of and saying, oh, I see what's happening now. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. Okay, there's where my mind wants to go. Whoa, I'm really drifting back into the past now. And now I'm thinking about what happened yesterday. And oh, I can see how that happens. And the more we can practice that, the easier it will be to simply bring our awareness back to just this. And just this is staying connected with the events of our life as they are occurring without resistance. So practicing mindfulness is a lot like watching a movie in a movie theater. And in the mindfulness workbook, I have a couple of exercises that walk you through this. But it's similar to watching what's unfolding on a screen, and you're just watching the screen saying, wow, this is what's happening now. Oh, now I see how the plot is beginning to thicken. Now I'm beginning to see where this is beginning to go. And oh, look at what's coming up on the screen now. As in a movie theater, you wouldn't crawl into the screen and become part of the plot. You just sit and watch and notice how things are unfolding. And the more you can practice being in the presence of how mindless minds generate your suffering, the easier it will become for you to simply return back to just this. Because mindless mind will no longer be able to hook you into the drama, into the screen, into the plot, into the stories. You'll just be able to say, ah, now I see what's happening. Now I can understand what's occurring. You're not trying to stop anything. You're not trying to get anything to quiet down or to go away. You're just simply learning how to be in the presence of how mindless mind operates without letting it hook you into the drama. And the more you practice mindfulness in this way, the easier it will be for you just to simply say, ah, I see what's going on there, but just this, coming back to what is actually occurring in your life without resorting to resistance or trying to stop things or control things or what have you. So it becomes very important for us to not try to impose mindfulness on top of mindlessness. The very first step in learning mindfulness is learning how to be in the presence of our mindless mind. Something that I also call our suffering generator. The ways that our thinking and our judgments and opinions create a great deal of suffering in our life. So in summary, mindfulness is really learning how to be in the presence of mindlessness, watching how you do that. Watch how you do your mindlessness. Watch how your suffering generator works. And the more you practice that, the easier it will be for you just to return to just this. And just this is remaining in the presence of your life as it is occurring without resorting to resistance. Well, I hope this has helped lay some foundation for you in your inquiry and interest in mindfulness. And I hope to see you again in another video. Thank you.